everybody. I'm going to be frank this morning and welcome you all on this call. We're going to have a great set of speakers this morning, and Joe and I will be basically running this call when Frank tries to sort of get a little bit of time off. So I think it's going to be a great call.
Hey Hans, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, Joe. That's awesome. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
So we see lots of people already coming into the call. So make sure when you want to type something that you say to all panelists and attendees, because then everybody can read what you're posting and where you're from. I noticed that I have the tendency to actually say where you're calling from, but that is because that you
Want to unmute her? I think she's still muted.
Let me have a look. I don't think so, because I did hear her, but
Okay.
Jacqui, can you say something, please? Good morning, or good morning. Let me see. I think indeed there is, she's not muted, but somehow it doesn't come through.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning, Jacqui.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Everyone's great. How you doing? Nice to see you.
Awesome. Glad to be here.
Thanks for coming on, all you guys. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. I love you guys' stories and techniques. It's awesome. I'm sure everyone's going to get a lot out of it.
People helping people.
Absolutely. So
That's
we're
what it's all about.
Yeah, we're about 2 minutes out, guys, for this big training call. We've got some great speakers on the call today. We've got Bill Toth, Tannisha, Jacqui, Duncan, and of course Hans, the CEO of Impact 101, and myself, Joe Mhamed. This is going to be a great call. We're going to start the call right at top of the hour in about 2 minutes. Hans is going to give us a couple updates, and then we're going to get right into it with the guest speakers. That's going to be awesome. Here we go, folks. We're about 1 minute out to start our Impact 101 training call for Saturday, April 6th. I want to welcome everybody. It's still morning here. I'm sure we've got people from all over the world, so it'll be different times everywhere. But that's what makes this opportunity so incredible when you're dealing with people from everywhere in the world. So let me know when you get started, Hans. I think we're right at that time.
Yeah, I think so too. So I'm just going to start recording, and then I'd say take off, Joe, for a first start.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody to Impact 101 training call. My name's Joe Mhamed. I will be hosting the call here with Hans Loomis, Impact 101 CEO. I want to welcome everybody. We've got a panel of guests coming on today to teach you guys what they do. These guys are the top producers in Impact 101. Now, I'm going to pass the call over to Hans. Hans, if you've got a few quick announcements, and we can start off with some of the panelists.
Yes, excellent. Thank you so much for being here with us all. We have a great panel of speakers lined up, and I think we will all get some good golden nuggets out of everything that they have to say. That's always the fun part. I always look forward to these Saturday calls so much, because they are just a great way to sort of get positive energy from all the vibes that these people radiate. I really love that. And it makes me just want to do something right after I get out of the call, just fully energized. So that's great. So let me go through a couple of quick updates. The first thing that we have here is the flags that represent all of the countries that we have people in that are impacting others in their country. And it's amazing what you guys have done. We have 135 different countries. That is, well, 70-something% of all the countries that actually exist in the world joining Impact 101. So that's fantastic. And you know what? Actually, even in all of these countries, we're still super small. So we have just been started in February of this year and have been growing like, I'd say a great rate. Every day we see new members join, and that is just a joy to see. So some of these members we have on the call today, and I think I'm just going to go right into it. As I say that we have these speakers all lined up for you. So I'm going to turn it over to the first speaker that we have lined up today, and we're going to start up again with Jacqui. If you're ready for getting us some positive of your vibes, Jacqui.
Ready? Okay. Yes, I'm ready, Frank. Thank you so much. I'd like to begin by thanking you guys for this amazing platform we have and the community itself. It makes it such a joy to be, ooh, excuse me, let me turn my phone off. It makes it such a joy to be a part of something so amazing and great, and that gives us the opportunity to help ourselves as well as helping others. And I just want to go through what I'm doing to build my business at this time and to help my members do the same thing. And the way that we start off is, the first thing I start off with is with mindset, because mindset is so important. If your mind is not in the proper place, you can't do anything. You can have all the tools in the world, you can have the greatest community in the world, but if you don't believe in what you're doing, and if you don't believe in yourself, nothing is going to happen. And for some of us, we've been programmed so that it's hard to get into that state. So what you do is, we live in a time when there's technology, and when you're fortunate enough to live in this time period, you have to take advantage of it. That's what makes this world work. And so I say that if you don't have the proper mindset, get on YouTube. There's tons of videos on there. I have one that I love that I listen to every morning. And what it does is program me for what I'm capable of and what's out there for me to do. And then secondly, I always say that along with the belief, along with the mindset, there's the automation that goes along with that. So you use the automation for your business. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have bring us voicemail messages, we have emails, we have text. So for those of you that say that I don't like to go up and talk to people, you can use those tools and they help you, because you can establish relationships through using those tools. You have to be consistent with it, but if you're consistent with it, you can truly establish relationships, because people get used to seeing your text, they get used to seeing your emails, and then they feel like they know you. So that's something else that we do. Okay, as you're building your team, you want to stay in connection with your team. You know that you're going to be recruiting leaders. With those leaders, you reach out to them on an ongoing basis, and you make sure that everybody on your team is getting the same things that you're doing. Okay, if I'm sending out emails, I'm going to send that same email to my team and tell them why I'm sending it out, and instruct them to do the same. If I'm sending out a text that day, I'm sending that same text to my team so that they can follow the leader, because that's what I've done. CJ and Mark, phenomenal sponsors. And when I got started, I followed what they did and what I had learned in previous businesses, and it helped me to become a leader, and I'm working on that with my team as well. So I'm using a combination of the automation, the hands-on touch, because those people that you have established relationships with, you can reach out to them from time to time to see what they're doing. Their needs change over a period of time. So they may have not been ready to get in initially, but as time moves on, you never know what's going on in their life. And then I just want to recap real quick, because I don't want to take up too much time. Start your day, prayer, meditation, gratitude. Be grateful for what we have. And what that will do is bring more to you. Set your daily goals. What do you want to achieve today? And don't and be, like, go outside your imagination. I mean, imagine the best for yourself, and that's what you will get. Attend all your training calls. There's always a nugget you're going to receive. I don't care if it's another speaker that's been there last week. They're going to say something different that's going to help you. And then lastly, send out copies of your emails, text, whatever. Use your automation. And then one last point, Frank, and I'm going to close it out. Okay, if you go to a store and they only have one payment option, all they have is maybe a MasterCard, but you have a Visa, you have American Express, and maybe you don't have a MasterCard. What we want to do is everybody, especially the US-based people, set up at least 4 payment options so that somebody can pay you no matter what they have. Use PayPal as a last resort. There's Zelle, there's Venmo, and there's Cash App. So utilize what we have, the automation, the payment options, and look for your success. Know you're going to be successful. And thank you, Frank.
Very well said, Jacqui. And that's a very good point you make there. It is extremely important for everybody to make it as easy as possible for others to actually get your donations done. If you have only one payment option, this may not always work for the person that wants this donation. And we see some examples of people that are really wanting to make this donation, but they run into difficulties. So I think it's an extremely good advice to just look at all the other options. It is really simple to open accounts with other options. We have a couple of great things. We have the Uphold account that I really would reckon to look into. It's actually not really utilized a lot, but it's great. It's free. and there is like instant transaction from a member to another member. It's great. And it works in so many countries. I believe in something like 180 countries in the world as well. So that was great, Jacqui. Thank you so much. And I always love your positive vibes that just sort of radiate out of you. So thank you for being on this call. All right, so I'm going to hand over the word now to our new friend, Bill. And I'm just going to call him Bill because I don't want to sort of disrespect his last name.
Thanks.
Bill, take it away.
Thank you. So I want to say a couple of things back to all the people that have been really kind of leading the charge over these last 10, 11 weeks now. We've kind of sat in the background and really we're doing some things that probably weren't the best way to do it. So what I want to come at today is kind of explain to people that trying to reinvent the wheel is not the best way to build anytime you get involved with anybody. But in this scenario, Frank and Hans and some of the leaders that started this, they figured out what was good from the other companies that were already in this space, and they put everything together so that we could basically have I like to call it a turnkey business. And they've added some features to it that really can put you in that position where you're talking to people that really don't want to spend time building another business. They want set it and forget it. And that's the background that I come from. I'm a passive guy. I like to put people into a position where they can set a business up, and all they got to do is do maintenance on it on a regular basis. And that's what we've really kind of geared our team around when we realized that Frank and Hans had put some things together that give us the ability where somebody that wants to build a big team, meet them at where they're at. I've got some of those guys. And then the person that is more, hey, you know what? I really like the idea of getting these donations from 8 grids, but I really don't have a lot of extra time. You work with that person, you set them up for success by getting them into those 6 grids right away. And then you tell them to take the profits from those 6, get into the 7th grid, take the profits from that into the 8th grid. And now they've got their 2 people following them in all 8 grids. And now they're in set it and forget it mode. Okay. And what I mean by that, there's still some work to be done, but now they have all 8 grids. They've done the legwork. They now have those 2 people. And I believe that if you focus on helping those 2 get their 2 and you teach that repetition over and over, you don't have to worry about people that are 10 levels deep because they're duplicating exactly what you did, which was you helped those 2 get their 2 right away. So they got their early donation money back right away. They were able to then upgrade into 7 and 8. They've duplicated exactly what you've done. And now you've helped their people 1 level deep because you're a little more experienced than they are. And they're doing the same thing. And if you do that, you'll be amazed at how fast this will grow for you. I mean, we did nothing for the first 7 weeks because we were trying to do our own thing. And in the last 2 weeks, I mean, we put in probably over 80 people. All of them are in all 8 grids. And they're just driving each and every day with that same concept of bring your 2 in. If you don't have 2 ready to go, you don't get in because you never have any openness in any of those grids, and everybody keeps following by that thing. But you have to keep that posture that this is that good. So that would be the one side. Now, on the other side, this is something that I don't think a lot of people realize. We've got a business here that isn't just about helping people with that want to be in the donation side of it, but we can also go out and we can raise funds for anything, which what that does is that puts us in a position to have all kinds of prospects coming into our business on a regular basis. If you go down to the Little League and you talk to somebody at the Little League about, hey, you guys need to raise some funds, right? I'll let you use my platform so you don't have to pay the kind of fees that you would have had to pay if you were going to a GoFundMe. And once some of these other parents see what you're doing and they realize that, oh, this is a business. You've got a business inside of a business. And as long as you keep proper records and as long as you make sure you're doing it the proper way, and people know that these funds that are going to be coming in are earmarked for that little league, you're going to watch your business in a box really start to go from point A to point B to point C. And before you know it, if it is something you want to do full time, you could do this full time. But this is the best business I've ever seen, bar none, from the standpoint of it's simple for people to understand. We control all of our own money. We don't have to worry about the company going out of business 6 months after we do all the work to build a team. And then we're, oh my gosh, I just did all that work. Now I got to start all over with another company. If you're in this right now and you're looking at, is it something I want to do? I'm going to say that I've had a lot of success in this business in terms of building sales teams. And the one that my claim to my fame is put 2.9 million people in a business in 18 months. The business then got sold, and basically I busted my butt for the owner of that company. He walked away with 100 million, and I had to start over doing something else. So that was kind of my claim to fame when I really got into this business. But what I like about this is we control our own destiny. And all Impact 101 is a platform that we use. And as long as we do the right thing by Impact 101, by promoting it properly and by following all of our jurisdictional laws, depending on what country you're in, man, this business is here forever for all of us. And I look forward to working with all of you guys as time goes on. But you're going to see that we have a really simple way of doing things, and our people are going to be more and more will be on this call, spending time kind of giving what they're doing, the little tidbits that the speaker before me was talking about. That mindset is so important. And you'll see as time goes on that your business will grow just as fast as a lot of us that have had some early success, even though it took us 7 weeks to figure out that there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Just follow this exactly the way it's set up, and you're going to have all kinds of success. I'll flip it back to you guys at the head of the table there.
Excellent, Bill. Thank you so much. And you said indeed a couple of very important things, and that we truly believe that are very important for everybody to know. So the most important thing indeed is that you are basically building your team for yourself and for everybody's success. So we truly, as a company, believe that it's very important to have everything so-called non-custodial. In other words, we are not touching any of the funds. All we do is provide the tools for you guys to be successful. And if you basically build your own team, that's great. And you are the one that does this and gets rewarded for this. So we believe that is the most important thing for everybody to be successful. And that's a great point. It's not always highlighted enough, but that's important. So the same thing with all of the payment methods. Those are just yours. I mean, we're not touching any of it. We just are the conduct between a donation on the receiving and on the giving end. And that's all we want to do. So in the next couple days, you will see that all your campaigns have gone to the mobile landing pages and the front page. There's lots more campaigns visible now. And we have pretty much ready the way that you can get donations from outside of the system, so that you can do a truly almost like GoFundMe type of thing, but then without this pesky 15% being taken by a company. So thank you so much for your contribution, Bill. I think it's amazing what you do with the way that you build your system. So we might sort of learn a couple of things from you somewhat more in the future. Thank you for being on our panel. I'm going to hand over the word now to Tannisha. Tannisha, take it away.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm so excited to be on this call again. And I always love being on this call when I have another person from my team and representing LA and how we're moving together. It's so awesome. And, you know, this is so much more than just crowdfunding. And I really love to touch base on this with any and all of my members, that this is so much more of a platform. I'm going to move him because he's going to start competing with me speaking. this is so much more than just crowdfunding. Really what this is, it's almost like an internal psychological process, right? Knowing what we deserve, how can we help ourselves, how can we help other people? And what we were talking about on our team meeting this morning before this call was leadership. And whether it's this or anything else, but very specifically with crowdfunding, we are now given this incredible opportunity to harness our present and our future. We have the ability to create security for our future and inspire other people and reignite that fire, and then that they actually have the right to do that too. And what I love about this is that every single person that we connect with, you know, in crowdfunding, sharing the opportunity with, it's like you're seeing where people are at. You're seeing their limitations. You're seeing what they're capable of. Do they even believe in themselves? And the greatest part about this is that we're playing, in my opinion, and I'm sure you guys believe, you know, what I'm saying too, that we literally have a responsibility now to share this with people. And it's up to them to decide to make that choice. And the greatest part is that when you posture yourself in understanding what we have and believing in the system, knowing that it works because we're experiencing it, but beyond that, our members are experiencing it because they are following leadership, that's when, for me, it's like, wow, this is so much further beyond just myself. This is about all of these people and the other countries that they know people in, and maybe even villages that people are in that have such a small amount of data, but they're on Wi-Fi and they're communicating. I mean, these are real situations, you guys. Like, I'm communicating with people via Facebook, and some of these people are reaching out that they have such limited data, but because we're connecting, they want to know more information about how they can make an impact in their village. I'm not even talking about a metropolitan city, but their village. And that's what this has the ability to do. And for me, like, that is so rewarding. You know, I come from a totally different space. I come from the health and wellness space. I have my degree in kinesiology, all about body movement, function, physiology. And what I came to terms with in that entire space and industry, which I'm still in, but now I'm in other spaces as well, is that in order for us to obviously have outstanding health, you guys, it takes a lot of money. If you want to take charge of your health for itself, that takes money, right? So what I found is being in the health space is that my clients were running out of money, meaning my clients couldn't afford their health. My health budget on an annual basis is crazy. And it might be a crazy number that people would never even consider. So from my perspective, I know that for me to live my life, it's a crazy budget for a lot of people, but for me, it's my security. And no matter what we do, and like what we talk about on our team, there's nothing that's too big. There's nothing that's too small, regardless of whatever it is. It takes money. You want to go rollerblading like I'm going to do after this call? Well, it takes money to get rollerblades, right? It just depends on what somebody's scope of what they're looking at in life. And crowdfunding has the ability to do this. You just got to believe in it. You got to link arms with your leader. And if your leader is, you know, just learning, then go to the leader before them because they're on your team, and skill build, and then step into that pace where you're now passing the knowledge on to somebody else. That's what I love about this. This has changed my life very dramatically. Like what everybody else was saying, you know, Jacqui and Bill, mindset is key. And if you have not mastered your mind yet, force yourself to master your mind. Get yourself in the space to where you're listening to audios. Like I listen to audios all the time, and it doesn't matter how much money you're making on a monthly basis or an annual basis. Your mind is constantly having to level up, because remember, just like the cliche statement, every new version is going to need a higher level of you, or however it goes. So every single day you have to be leveling yourself up. So it's critically important. Make time for yourself, make time for your mind, your heart, your soul, even to rest. Go out in nature. I go to the beach every morning, and I always encourage people, look, if you have nature around you, I don't care if it's a park, if that's where you have to go to get your head clear, go do it. This can change lives. And the moment that you really grasp that and harness that, you're going to just see your life take off, and you're not even going to know how it happened. It's changed mine big time. And my whole goal, you guys, is, you know, before I'm 30, I'm not 30 yet, before I'm 30, to just have all my debt completely wiped, all my school student loans, all that stuff wiped. because we don't have to go through life, and I don't have to wait until I'm in the baby boomer age to where, oh no, I have no money left. Like, so many of the baby boomers are in that situation. And the greatest part, this will be my last point, you guys, is that what I've seen with crowdfunding, aside from myself, is I've seen this work for people who have no experience, who are working multiple jobs. One of my members this morning, you guys, is in her mid-70s. She works 2 jobs. She works graveyard shift and she works a day shift. And she's got a family that she takes care of. And she texts me this morning saying, oh, I just brought on another member up to the 5th grid on her own. And that's the most rewarding part, when people start claiming it for themselves and they don't need you anymore because they know that it works. So that's my share, you guys. You guys can all do it. And I want to thank you guys for, again, inviting me on here and just making this possible for everyone.
That's awesome, Tannisha. So it sounds like you've actually made also a lot of new friends just by reaching out to a lot of people and connecting with them and going through the thing. How's that working for you?
Oh my gosh, it's so good, you guys. I feel like I have friends all over the world now, and not just Facebook connections, but friends. Like, I have business partners now through crowdfunding that 4 countries in 1 week is just mind-blowing to me. So now I have places to go all over the world and just be friends with these people and share culture, share experiences, and connect with them in other ways and learn more about their culture, actually having the opportunity to understand what's happening in their country politically and what their greatest concerns are of why they're raising money for their villages. I mean, like, this is real. This is not something to play around with. This is real, what we have here. And it's more than just beyond ourselves. It's everyone.
Well, that's amazing. That's also what I always find the most rewarding thing of actually the whole system. And it's talking to different people from all sorts of countries that have each their own set of problems, that also have fantastic stories to share. And just meeting all these people from all over the world is just enriching for my life as well. It's just a great thing to experience. And I'm sure that most of you all have the same experience in that regard. So it's really a worldwide thing, and that's just awesome. So talking about worldwide, well, thank you so much for Tannisha. I'm going to switch to the other side of the ocean, and we're going to our friend Duncan in the UK. Duncan, but can you tell us how does some of the things go for you over there?
Okay, good evening, Hans. Thank you for inviting me on this call tonight. I'd just like to say some brilliant speakers tonight, some fantastic information. And I just want to talk about, Jacqui mentioned about mindset. In fact, Tannisha also did as well. Great having a mindset, but you also need, and a lot of people have talked about this, consistency is the key as well. And a lot of people ask me this question, and I ask it myself. I ask myself, what motivates me? Well, a lot of people say, how do I motivate my friend? Well, you know yourself, a lot of people ask this question. Problem is with motivation, it's only very short term. So you need to get motivated every day. You know, motivation is a bit like having a bath. It's great when you have it and you know you need to have it every day, but the water goes cold. So you need to change the water. And it's exactly the same with motivation. You know, how many people have been to a conference, you know, a motivational speaker, you come out on fire. I've done it. I get home the next day, I'm back to reality, and suddenly I'm flat because that motivation doesn't last very long. So it's a fact that motivation doesn't last. We have to renew it every day. Every single day you have to motivate yourself. So we have to realize that to stay motivated over the long term, it's something we have to feed ourselves with every day, not just something you do once in a while. And then the next thing is you need to create a vision for your life. You know, the root of motivation is motive. The definition of motive is to reason to act. And you need to have a vision that's big enough to motivate yourself. So the only person that can motivate you is yourself. So you need to set out a vision and have a strategy to get there, have a plan, and work to that plan, really. So fuel your passion. Often motivation is emotional. You know, I often say to people, I remember getting involved in the first, it was actually MLM business, but I can remember it was people that wanted to get involved because they realized how I was so enthusiastic about it. I was so excited. I said all the wrong things, but it was my enthusiasm that attracted people. So you have to realize that fuel your passion. It's a powerful force. Passion is an emotion, so you've got to feel your passion, work on yourself to get up, build up your desire and build up your passion, and get passionate about what you do, because people buy that. People buy off people. You don't have to sell anything, but your enthusiasm will motivate that. And you have to keep working hard to get results. The harder you work, the more results you get. The more results you get, that motivates you to go and do more. So, you know, when John talks about the 90-day action plan, that's really what everybody should be doing, is massive action in the beginning. Why? Because when you get a result, that motivates you. It's a bit like, you know, we've all done it. You know, I need to lose weight now. Now, the hardest thing is actually making the decision to take some action and start losing some weight. As soon as you start losing a couple of pounds, it motivates you to keep going and do more. So you need to work hard to get results. Once you get results, to me, it's like Tasnia has talked about the beach. You know, I love surfing. Once you catch that wave, and if you work hard enough, you'll catch that wave, keep that wave going, because that's what's going to motivate you even more. So work hard, and you need to, as Jacqui said, and Bill said also, you need to feed good materials into your mind. You know, listen to and read books, read stories about successful people, listen to motivational music. I do that when I do the webinars each week. I've got certain music that just really makes me alive, makes me feel alive. So I listen to the right music because that inspires you. And as I said before, when the motivation comes, ride it. You know, some things work. You know, we all get good days and bad days. I actually had a really bad day today, to be honest. Frank knows what I'm talking about, because I actually called him at 3 o'clock in the morning, so no wonder he's taking time off. But you know yourself, we all have good days and bad days. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, but that's life, and you just have to keep going. So my top tips are: get yourself motivated every day, create a vision for your life, fuel your passion, and keep passionate. And as Jacqui said, work on your mindset. Work hard to get the results, because as soon as you get the results, that motivates you to do more, and feed your mind with good materials, music, information, positivity, and ride the momentum when it comes. Hope that helps people, and thanks for inviting me on this call tonight. Really appreciate it. Some great speakers. Bill, I loved what you just said before. Brilliant. Love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Duncan. That's great words indeed. And you know what? I always say, like, without any valleys, there's no mountains. Things always go up and go down, and it's for a reason. I mean, we would just basically be all bored out of our minds if everything was just only going flat like that, you know? But yeah, I agree. Just feed your mind with positive feelings, with music. Music is a beautiful thing that can help you so many things. It's amazing how that works on mindset. And yeah, indeed, it's always good to have these great tips coming from you, because there's always something good that I just every time read in the things that you say. So thank you so much for being on our call today, Duncan. I'm going to switch over to Joe now, and Joe, I'm giving you the mic.
How you doing? Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you so much. That was great, guys. I was truly inspired by all in each one of you guys. I mean, biggest thing for me, I'll tell you guys this. I mean, you guys hear me on these calls more often than none, but my biggest thing is understanding the major shift in the marketplace. For me, that really inspires me. When people don't, I mean, crowdfunding's been around a long time, but this kind of model is new. It's unique. and there's no company that can dictate whether you, just like Bill said, I mean, he worked his butt off, 1.2 million people into a company, and then the company decides to sell out. Well, he's left out in the cold having to rebuild again. And this is a reality. It's happened to me. It's happened to John. It's happened to Duncan. It's happened to all of us. And it's one of those things where people have to understand that we're in an era right now that a lot of things are changing. The internet is changing. Duncan and I have many of these conversations, how everything shifted. How come a lot of businesses don't work anymore? What's going on with people? There's so many rabbit holes. And what I mean by rabbit hole, there's so many businesses now. There's so much distractions. And it's really difficult for people to get back on their feet. And here we have something here, and this is what I have done. People have to understand. We have something here that will change people's lives if they take the action. Bill said it. Couldn't said it any better. I've always built on posture. I've always built on, this is really good. I mean, I have something that's awesome. Do you want it? This is what you need to do. That's the posture. Having something, and Bill gets it. I mean, and I appreciate it. I mean, no one builds anything at 1.2 million people without understanding what the human psychological aspect of building a business. And that's a fact. I mean, the biggest thing for me is for you guys to understand how big this is. And the new era, and it's brand new. It's like the beginning of network marketing, however many years ago. Maybe I should do my find out when it was done so I can actually say it properly for you guys. But I mean, this is what I'm saying, that we're in a new era, and this is gonna be massive. And it's not just massive as in me making money, or Hans or Frank or John or Bill or any of those people making. It's about people helping people. Really, it's a win-win. I always found business is about a win-win. This is a win-win. Biggest thing for me. The other thing I want to say is this, when we talked before about grids, I mean, we have, I mean, Hans can probably give you the numbers. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we have a lot of the bigger grids taking, basically, I'll let Hans, I don't want to root it for Hans, but he's got the numbers for us on this. But anyways, when we talk about grids, we talk about getting people into 2, 3, 4, 5 grids. And the reason why is because is this: if I bring somebody in at the $40 grid, which is okay, there's nothing wrong with it, but they're getting a $20 donation, how exciting is that? And again, this is not just about making a ton of money, but this is about truly helping people. If somebody understood, if they came to 3, 4 grids, and let's say somebody came in at 3, 4 grids behind them, for instance, and they received over $200 versus $20, what is that going to do for them? This is the whole idea. It's not about, we don't make any more money because you guys are coming into higher grids. It just helps you guys, and it helps your story, and it really helps your people to really change their lives. Just like Tannisha said, she's, I mean, Tannisha, that was awesome. You want to get out of debt. What better way to get out of debt? This is the vehicle to get out of debt. I mean, anybody has a goal, and I love that about what she said about that. Anyways, I mean, we're running about 5 minutes over. I just want to say thank you to all the panelists. That was awesome. Bill, you did an awesome job, man. Tannisha, Jacqui, as always, and Duncan. I mean, thank you so much for you guys, for putting into this community what everybody can get from get something from this. Go ahead, Hans.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. And indeed, that's actually very true what you just say there. If you look at our front page and you look at some of the campaigns that people have put together, you see that people are actually saving up money for all sorts of things. And usually it is not something that's worth like $100. You're funding something that might be like thousands of dollars. So if you have to try get that together with like donations of $20, well, good for you, but it's going to take like hundreds of donations before you actually reach your goal. So if you go into a little bit more grids, you will actually reach that goal way, way, way sooner. And that is the thing I think that people start to see now. And so that's why we see a lot of movement in the grids. And I think that's great, because that actually really sort of fires up the things that people can reach, the things that people can do. It creates the positive stories. And yeah, that's what we're all about. We just want everybody to have a great positive experience and basically reach the goals that they've set to reach. So yeah, I'm going to do the last little thing here. I'm going to quickly share one more thing, and then we're going to wrap up the call. So let me just really quickly go towards the end of the presentation, where we have the next calls lined up, because I think most people are already in touch with what's all happening. But if you're not, then I would really like to invite you for the Tuesday or Wednesday call. So the next ones are on Tuesday, April 9, and then Wednesday, April 10. You can find this also in your back office. Share it with others if you want to get them on calls and to impact as many people as we can. I want to again thank all of the panel. You've been great. Thank you so much. And I'm going to wrap the call right up now and see if there's any more questions later so that we can go over these. Thank you so much all. And that was again a great call.
Hey, Hans, can I mention something really, really quick that you said
definitely.
that, okay.
Take it away.
For everybody that's on this call, what you just said actually reminded me of one of my members. And I had a member that I made a connection with through Facebook. We didn't know each other in person. We just happened to connect and shared this with her. And you guys, I'm not even kidding you. This wonderful woman saved her money for 3 months. 3 months. To come in to just 3 grids. And what she did to save her money, you guys, I'm not even kidding you. She collected cans and took her cans and got coins to come in all 3 grids, as much as she could. And her very first donation came through. She hadn't been able to share it just because of personal things going on in her life. Her very first donation came through last week when she ended up in the hospital, you guys. So when these things happen and you see what people are willing to do, literally save and collect cans to change their life, and they just happen to be like massively rained on with a big blessing when they're probably not feeling their best in the hospital, that's what you want to think about, what this has the ability to do. Not just our own, PayPal, bank account, Venmo, whatever it is that we're using. How is this opportunity sharing blessings with that individual that we didn't even know needed it the most? So I just want to share that with you guys. That's how big this is.
That's fantastic. And that's indeed what it's all about. Just making an impact on people. And it's great to hear that happens all over the place, because that's really what we want to see. So again, thank you all for being on the call. I'm going to stop the recording and going to see if there's some more questions, and then we're just going to log off. So thank you all.
Okay,
Have a look if there's any.
There's a couple questions. There's one from Cliff, and I think this is something Jacqui or Tannisha can answer. Is how many people are using smarterthanmoney.com? Is that necessary to have success? And I don't know what smarterthanmoney.com is. I don't know what that is. Maybe Jacqui or Tannisha can answer that.
Sure. So we definitely have a really great team that Jacqui and I are all in. We just really help all of our members with a very specific coaching platform. That's what I can go into with that, specifically the way that we really create leadership within our team. But I personally, you guys, I use everything that Impact offers, and it really just depends on your approach with people. What are you sharing? What's more valuable to that individual and their personality? Every person is a little bit different. So do you need what we are using only to be successful? Absolutely not. There's so many different methods that people use. My method is completely different than what Jacqui does. So it's just finding what you're really good at and utilizing your skill strength and going with it. So that's what I have to say on that.
Awesome. There's another question here. I think this is directed to Bill, but I could probably answer it, but I'm going to let Bill answer this. Says, Bill, exactly what do you do to help a person that joined to get their 2 people? I mean, I go ahead, Bill. I know the answer to the question, but go ahead.
So before we let them join. We make sure they have 2 people, and we do have an app that makes it real easy for people to get 2 people. So we coach them to download the app, which is really simple to do, and we give it to them for free. They don't have to pay for it. But once they download the app, all the Impact 101 stuff is in the app. Now they can share, okay, any of the Impact tools, and they can track whether or not that person looked at the video, whether or not the person did any of these things. But what it does is it allows them to know who they should be following up with, because we have an algorithm built that will make that person red. So now instead of, if they send it out to 50 people from their phone, they know which ones to find their 2, because those are going to be the ones that actually took time to look it over. And then we'll help them if they need some type of follow-up. But it's really simple. Our phones are whether you use the mobile landing page or whether you're using this, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody that we know are on our phones. And you only need 2 to get into every grid. And then from there, you can add 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But if you get everybody on this idea that 2 gets 2 who gets 2, and then worry about going to 3, 4, 5, and 6. But too many times, and that's what we learned really fast, because we were teaching people to get 6, but you don't have time to work with 6. We have time to work with 2. And that's what we did. The app works really well. Anybody can use it. It's free. We have no problem with anybody using it. You can go to the App Store. It's called Rapid Funnel. And when you download it, you're going to put in a group code that is FRP. And, feel free to use it. We have a training once a week on it. You'll see everything in there, the calendar. It puts all of these meetings in there. But it makes it real easy to share this program with as many people that are in your phone as you possibly have. And that's the key. But if you do that, everybody's going to get 2. They don't need to go find cold traffic. I promise you that you have 2 people in your phone that are willing to do crowdfunding. If you show them how easy it can be, they're going to come all day long. This isn't network marketing. This isn't direct sales. This is helping people help people. And once you show people how easy it is with our program to help people, you're not getting in their pocket. It's a totally different mindset than direct sales or MLM. And unfortunately, MLM has kind of deteriorated, in my opinion, over the last 20 years to where too many people at the top make all the money. And in this case, it's up to you. This is your business. You're going to make as much money as you want or as little as you want. But it's really up to you. But I promise you, those 2 people are in everybody's phone. So when someone tells me they don't have 2 people, this business isn't for them. So
absolutely, Bill. Thank you so much. If there's
exactly, and can I just add one more thing to that? Thank you, Bill, for bringing that up. It's indeed very important to know that in this opportunity, everybody basically just builds their own success. It's not necessarily so that if you were in early, that makes all the difference. So look at people that are just joining and just going gangbusters and create their actually bigger success than some of the people that were in before. So I think it's very important to have a fair and equal opportunity for everybody. So that is really the way that we run this, fair and equal. And that's the only way we want it. So yeah, let's see. So the name of that app, that was Rapid Funnel. I think that we're actually going to talk some more with Bill and see what we can do. There's some talks going, so just stay tuned, people. It's going to be very exciting. And I think that we're just about now 46 minutes in, so we're going to wrap up the call because or else we'll be here forever. And we don't want to get Tannisha to not go rollerblading, right? So thank you all for, again, being on the call. And we're going to call everybody out. And thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody.